I think I've spoiled myself on an important match, maybe like once ever. I'm not really sure how people keep getting spoiled, because if you don't want to get spoiled, just like don't even go on, just don't go on Team Liquid, and then you won't get spoiled. It's like that simple. I don't know why so many people have a hard time with this. It's like if I miss an important match, I'm like, well, alright, I'll just go watch the VODs then when I can, and until then I just don't even look at Team Liquid. Easy peasy. And game number 1, it's going to be Effort from CJ. So Effort will in fact be playing Brood War today, unless we go to an ace match. And yeah, the ending really did confuse me, I think, as well as a lot of people. It was pretty BM. Anyway, it's gonna be action coming after KT Roll Source. So we're gonna start off with a ZBZ, and before last season's playoffs, I would have said that this would go easily in Effort's favor. But then action, he got to the playoffs and he decided to become Hoja temporarily, or show some of his skills, and also show off some good ZBZ. I think since then he's played some good ZBZs as well. Either way, action. I'm not gonna count him out against Effort, even though Effort's ZBZ is pretty amazing. And the map is going to be Ground Zero. Now I believe these two players actually played as EBZ in the playoffs last season. Was it the second and third place? Fourth place? I can't remember. They played against each other in one of the playoff matches, and I think it was on Sniper Ridge. And Effort actually got himself into quite a good position. And then Effort got himself into a good position, and then Action did like a sick Ling run around and like sniped Effort's Spire, and it was so cool. I was freaking out. And yeah, that's my story. I'm not quite on the ball today. Hold on, actually, let me get my backup stream up just before we do anything, just so that I have my emergency stream. NBC game fighting! It's really sad. Well, I'm just trying to figure out exactly which stream is ahead. I think the Esports TV stream is ahead. Okay. Anyway, looks like we have vertical spawns, both players scouting vertically. So obviously we shall have, or neither player going to get that lucky Overlord scouting advantage. Although it wouldn't happen on this map anyway, because it's not rotationally symmetric. It's symmetric along the horizontal and vertical axes. Does that make sense? Sorry, it's quite a bit of math to be doing this early in the morning. I agree. Little bit of geometry thrown in there for you, just to mix it up a little. Anyway, we are going to have a 12 hatch here from Effort. Slightly risky build, but it's going to pay off here because Action's gone for a, I believe a 12 pool. Might have been slightly faster, like an overpool. But either way, it's not fast enough to really punish the 12 hatch. So it's going to pay off for Effort. I'm not sure why he decided to go for a 12 hatch against someone like Action. When you'd think that he'd be like, well, I'm probably better as EVZ than this guy, so don't need to take any unnecessary risks. Because like if Action had 9 pooled, Effort could have been in a little bit of trouble. Although having said that, I think we recently did see a 12 hatch defeat a 9 pool. Or did we? Maybe. Wow, she's like so embarrassed.
모든 분들 옆에 예쁜 사랑하길 바랍니다. 네, 그런 도중에 김정우 선수 12도는 앞마당이라서
How
빌드에서
cute.
잠깐 앞서죠. 네, 그래서 이 차이를 지켜낼 수 있느냐가 역시 중요하다고 볼 수 있는데 네, 김성근 선수는 상대방의 빠른 앞마당을 보고 레어를 빨리 들어가는 선택을 먼저 했습니다.
Overlords making their way into each other's mains, and we're gonna have lair first, presumably from both players. When you get an early Overlord scout off like this, it's difficult to pull any Zergling shenanigans because essentially, you know, your opponent. What happens is you want to make as many drones as possible, obviously, right? But you don't want to make so many that you die. So, you know, both players will make some initial lings here. But then after that, every time, if you want to add Zerglings, all your opponent has to do to be safe is just like look in your base with his Overlord and see how many Zerglings you made. And then after his round of drones, then he makes Zerglings, because the time it takes for your lings to travel from your base to his base, he can pop out another round of Zerglings. So essentially, if you make lings, he can make a round of drones and then make lings and still defend against your lings. And then you're boned. Hey, so having said that, it looks like a lot of lings are coming out for effort here. Of course, because he did get a slight builder advantage going for the 12 patch versus this 12 pool. Looks like he's now actually made quite a substantial number of lings, and oh man. He actually, noticed he tried to move his lings back a little bit because he wasn't sure what was popping out of that egg. If it was like Zerglings, he wanted to catch them, but oh man, this is not good for action. He's having to use his drones to fight here, but he doesn't have enough, and he doesn't have a good position at all. Horrible concave there on the ramp, and I think Action might actually just die here straight up to the Zergling attack from effort. I'm a little bit surprised that this happened. Kind of should have seen it with his Overlord. But I guess he was like, he got a little bit greedy maybe, made a couple of extra drones, trying to catch up to the 12 patch. But either way, Action is in a ton of trouble. And by a ton of trouble, I mean he's probably dead already here. Losing a couple of extra drones there. Effort just flooding out more lanes. Effort, he's not actually getting... Okay, he's got a lair. He's not actually getting a spire just yet. I actually not sure if that Overlord at the natural is in range of the lair. I think it is in range, just barely. But it probably won't even matter. It won't even get to the Spire stage. Effort's just gonna end this with Zerglings. But the Spire of Effort of Action rather should be done soon. But yeah, it doesn't matter. GG from Action, and Effort just takes game number 1 very easily with Zerglings there. Not the most spectacular ZVZ we've ever seen. But a 1-0 lead to CJ Entis. And well, I mean, you know, guys, if you were disappointed with that game, you should just go talk to Harm, because ZVZ is in fact the best mirror. Clearly this wasn't as good as the PvP yesterday.
너무나 잘해주고 있고, 오늘 경기에서도 물론 최근에 그 예상 수에서는 조금 안 좋은 그런 모습도 있었지만 스타크래프트 1에서만큼은 지금 스타크래프트 1만 잘했을 4승순위 공동 1위에요. 그만큼 정말 잘해주고 있는 김정우 선수입니다.
Alright, I'm gonna try and eat my eggs because hopefully they pull down a bit.
때문에 지금 현재 총체적으로 KT가 조금 부진에 빠져 있는 게 아닌가라는 좀 걱정을 하고 있는 팬 여러분들이 많은데, 자, 또 원치 않은 결과, KT 팬 여러분들에게 원치 않은 결과 나오고 CJ 팬 여러분들이 가장 많은 결과가 나오고 있습니다. 자.